Okay, so we've done a few things so far. First, we've initialized Backtrader and given ourselves an initial amount of cash. We've connected our Cerebro object in Backtrader to this Yahoo Finance data feed, which has prices for Oracle stock. And we've also begun implementing a test trading strategy where we described when to issue buy orders. But we haven't yet told our strategy when to actually sell the stock. So we're going to do that in this video, and then we're going to visualize our outcome using the plotting functionality. So the first thing we'll do here is in our test strategy, we're going to start keeping track of our order status. So in our init function, we're going to say self.order is none because there's no order yet. And a new rule for our trading strategy here is we're not going to buy more stock or execute more buy orders if we already have a position or if there's already an order that hasn't yet been completed. So yeah, let me show you what I mean there. So I'm going to print self.order here, and I'm also going to print self.position, and I'm also going to print self. And so you'll see how these values change as our strategy runs. And I'm actually going to print the length of self. So I'm going to do Python 3, and I'm going to do trader.py, execute that, and you can see how I'm printing my position over time. The length of self is the bar that we're currently on. So we have 252 days for the year 2000 that we're processing. And so you see on like the end of December, we're on the 247th day. Then we're on the 248th day. You'll see the status of any orders. So they'll have like a completed status. They'll have an order type. They'll have a size. So we're only buying one share at a time. And then we also have a position size. So you can see when we add to our position, the number of shares are growing one at a time. So we end up with 61 shares. If we issue another buy, then we have 62 shares, and so on. So we want to modify our program to look at these statuses, and we also want to only enter and buy one time, and then we want to sell our position, and then we want to buy again, and then we want to sell our position. So let's code that in. And then the other thing is I'm showing the length of self. So this starts at 1, and then by the end of the year, we're on bar number 252. So what we're going to do is our selling strategy, we're going to buy the dip, so buy when the stock closes lower a couple of times, and then we're going to wait 5 bars and then sell regardless of the outcome. So let me show you how to code that. So in our next method here, we're not going to issue this buy order if we're already in the position, and we're not going to issue the buy order if there's an order that's already in process. So here I'll put if self.order, I'm going to return, and then I'm only going to do this if not self.position. So if we're not in the position, then we're going to buy. But if we are in the position, we need to look for when we sell. So I'm going to do else, and then here we'll code our when to sell the position that we're in. So we're going to sell the position after 5 days, we've decided. So I'm going to say if the length of self is greater than equal to self.bar executed, and we're going to define that in a moment, plus 5. So we're going to see, for instance, if we're on, if the length of self is 252, we're going to see if there was a buy order that was issued at bar 247. So if we executed a buy at bar 247, 5 days pass, then we know that we can issue our sell command. So if that's the case, then we'll log it, sell created, and then we'll format that, and then show what happened. So we'll do self.data close 0. All right, and then we can do self.sell. And so we're going to keep track of the orders. So we had self.buy. So we're going to do self.order equals self.buy and self.order equals self.sell. So when you issue a buy or sell order, it actually returns this order object that will store, and we're going to use this to keep track of the status of our order. So we're going to implement a method called notify order. And this method receives our order object, and then we can check on the status. So we'll do a couple of things. We'll see if the order status is in order.submitted or order.accepted. And if that's the case, then we just return. There's nothing to do yet. But if the order.status is completed, we're going to record the execution price of our order after it's completed. So we don't care yet if it's just submitted. We want to see the actual price that was executed. So we'll say if order.isBuy. So we have this isBuy, and then we also have an isSell method. So we're just checking if it's a buy or a sell order, and then we're going to just log buy executed dot format, and we can record the order, and it has an executed dot price, and then we'll record sell executed dot format, and then it's order dot executed dot price. So we're recording the buy and sell prices when our order is actually completed and executed. And then after this is done, we can just do self.order equals none. So after it's done, we need to reset it and to no order. And then we let it keep running. So that should be it. Oh, and we also need to keep track of what bar it was executed on. So here I'll also record the bar executed. So we're going to do, if there's a buy or sell, we're going to do self.bar executed equals the length of self. So we'll see what current bar we're on, and then we're just going to store that in bar executed. And so then in our next method, you see we check the length of self, we check the bar executed. If 5 days have passed, then we do the sell. And I'll run this one more time. And now you see we issue buy and sell orders, and this does what we want. You see the stock dips at the beginning of the year. It goes 26, 23, 22. We issue a buy. We wait 5 days. We issue a sell. We wait for there to be a dip from 25, 24, 23. We issue a buy. We wait 5 more days. We issue a sell, all the way through the end of the year. And then you see at the very end, we have a final portfolio value, and we turned our $1 million into $1,017.52. So yeah, all that work for $17. So not a great outcome yet, but let's make a couple of tweaks here. The first thing is that we're actually only buying 1 share of stock at a time. And since we have $1 million, we can buy a lot more than 1 share of Oracle stock. And so there's this sizer that we can add. So by default, the stake is 1. But if we add to Cerebro here, we say add sizer. So we're going to do this before we run our trading strategy. We'll do a fixed size, and then the stake, we'll buy 1,000 shares instead. So if we run this, we're going to make more money. And then I'll do Backtrader. We'll make some more money, right? We'll do $1,017,520, which, you know, is a little bit better. It's not great, but you know, we did get a return on our investment here. And when I visualize and show you what Oracle stock did during that year, you'll see this is actually, you know, not so bad. So I'm going to do a visualization here. So Backtrader has this plot method here. And so if you run it again with this plot method, it'll run through and then create this nice matplotlib chart here, which lets us visualize our trading strategy. And so you'll see Oracle stock actually finished the year about the exact way it started. It finished break even. So if we made some money on that, you know, that's pretty good. So you see these green arrows are shown on the chart whenever we issued buy orders, and the red arrows are on the chart when we issued a sell. So you can see, just like the text shows, there was a dip for a few days. We bought, we waited 5 days and sold, and it turns out the price was up. We waited for another dip, we bought, we sold, and we did that throughout the whole year, and we finished with a total portfolio value here. So it charts our portfolio value over time, starting with $1 million and finishing at $1,017,000. So that's shown at the top. And also for each trade or each order that's executed, we have this visualization here that shows blue dots whenever we had a positive outcome and red dots whenever there's a negative outcome. So you can see we're making a few $1,000s here and there, but also losing a few $1,000s sometimes. But the majority of the time we made a little bit of money and finished in the green, even though the stock was even. So that's about it. With a very small amount of code, you see we're able to implement a trading strategy, we're able to visualize it, and we're able to backtest all of that with some historical data that we got from Yahoo Finance. And so in the next series, what we'll do is go ahead and add some additional trading strategies, probably use one that's like an overbought and oversold strategy, maybe implement some of these basic crossover signals that are built in to Backtrader. It has a few signals built in that we can just take and plug in and see what happens. And also, I want to actually deploy this into the real world. So the broker that's created by out of the box by Backtrader allows us to do this simulation, but it also Backtrader lets us substitute in our own broker. And so what I want to try is some alternate brokers that let us deploy this in the real world. And so Alpaca's actually released an integration with Backtrader that lets you substitute in an Alpaca broker. That way you can actually issue these buy and sell orders against your real account and make money in the real world. So stay tuned for the next series of videos. I'll do a new video on using the Alpaca broker and connecting it together, and I'll hook it into my real Alpaca account and let it run trades for a number of days and see what the outcome is. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next series of videos. Thanks.